Welcome back, and let's get on board Abhishek Goenka, who's founder and CEO, India Forex Advisors, to talk on the currency space, which has ended on a positive note, especially for this week. Abhishek, hi, good to see you. What's your sense on the rupee? Up nearly 2% for this week. What kind of a move are you expecting in the next week?
First of all, a very happy new year to you and your entire crew, Manisha. And I think the last 2 days when the markets were like 800 points down, when we saw the rupee had hardly depreciated. Now that was a time when we got a cue in the market that the rupee is kind of topping out when the recent rally was concerned. And next day when the markets went up, the rupee actually appreciated, and since then the rupee has been appreciating and making lower lows. So it gives us a feeling that market is in a correction phase. So the rupee is typically in a correction phase, and the downside could be below 62 levels also. So probably levels of 6180 to 6190 is what we are looking at. But that does not mean that the rupee's overall trend has changed. The fundamentals have still not changed. In terms of real, we are still overvalued. In terms of global strength, the US dollar is still very strong, and we firmly believe that if there's a 10-15% strength in the US dollar internationally, and typically rupee cannot remain isolated. So I think it's merely a technical correction, a correction on sentiments. So I think levels below 62 is a good levels to go long on the US dollar, especially the importers who have been watching for a long time to buy dollars. I think close to levels of 62 is a good level to go and buy for their imports. So that's the view coming from us.
Vijay, what's your sense on the charts? How is the rupee looking? Are you also debating a level beyond 62 for the next week?
Manisha, if at all the equity markets remain optimistic, and you have IT companies' numbers which are coming in, which have also enthused the markets. The second aspect is the dollar index, which is showing signs of consolidation. So that factor cannot be ruled out. However, I don't give the rupee too much leeway by way of appreciation vis-a-vis the US dollar. I think the 6180 odd levels in the spot market would be a fairly bankable support. In terms of the prompt month futures on the currency derivative segment, I think 62 to 62.05 levels will be a level where I would expect support to come in. Of course, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I'm not very keen on shorting the dollar at this point in time.
Okay. Well, the Indian internals definitely have been on the positive side, Abhishek, because we've seen good FI inflows into debt, and the Indian equity markets have turned around. There have been dollar sales from exporters. Would you watch out for the international cues where the dollar index is also trading at a 9-year highs?
So I think, Manisha, the kind of move that we have seen in the dollar index, at least over the last 8-9 years, we have not seen that kind of a move. So one thing is very clear, that move has been very steep. And as we all know, that markets don't move one side. So typically if the movement has come from all the way from 80 to 92, and I think there could be some retracement coming in the dollar index. The overall trend of the dollar is extremely strong because dollar is running divergent monetary policies with the rest of the world, including India. So India also be looking at cutting down rates, whereas in the US we're talking about hike of rates. So typically if the countries have divergent monetary policy, then typically the US dollar is going to be the winning currency for 2015. But I'm getting a feeling that we could see some correction happening in the currencies like Euro and GBP, which has been fallen down like drastically. So which will also have a reflection on the rupee. So though our overall trend of the rupee still remains bearish, we're still looking at a number of 64, 65 in the coming months. But short-term appreciation in the rupee cannot be ruled out. And for the index, we are still looking at the levels of 94, 95 in the medium-term perspective. So in a short term, we could see a dip close to 87, 88 also.
All right, so that's the view or levels coming in for the currency space. Then with that, Abhishek and Vijay, we will let you go. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a sense on that sector. And with that, it's time out for Hot Commodities. Thank you for watching.